So now that we have one Lightbits volume connected to this Azure virtual machine, let's go ahead and create a file system on top of it, so we can use it to create an Oracle database on top of it. Remember, this is the device that we want to create a file system. I'm gonna label it just for the sake of a good Linux administration. We have a file system now. What I can do is I can run block ID in order to capture basically the UID of this file system, and the reason for that is that we want this file system to mount every time we reboot this virtual machine. So I'm basically gonna add it into the into its CFS tab. I'm gonna using the UID, gonna make sure that it always gonna mount in the same file system will be mounted in the same directory that I want to. I'm gonna mount it at SLOB DB. The reason for SLOB is because, as I said, I'm gonna use this as the workload generator later on. I'm gonna provide basically the type of file system, use the defaults, and the important stuff in here is netdev, because we do want this file system to only be mounted once the Linux network is up and running, because it is using NVMe over TCP. So once we have that up and running and into FS tab, we can do a mount -A to basically mount anything in its tab that is not already mounted. And we can see that it is mounted on SLOB-DB. And so this is basically the next step is to create an Oracle database using this file system. This is going to be the location, in my OI file. The db create file destination is going to be /slobdb. The control files is going to be created in slobdb. This is where the system table space, the system auxiliary table space, the undo table space, all gonna resides on this file system, which is based or built upon a Lightbits volume. So I'm going to create a database now, and then once, since it takes time, once the database is up and running, we'll come back and see how we can use the database to test the performance. So while the database is being created, I just want to show one thing. Previously I showed how to run the NVMe connect command to connect into the Lightbits cluster. And if you recall, it was something like NVMe connect, and we connected into an IP. Now, if we want to basically make sure that this happens automatically after a reboot, what I did here is I created a service, a systemd service, and I just called it NVMe connect. It's fairly regular systemd service, and I created this file, which is basically a loop on the IP addresses connecting into the Lightbits cluster. So every boot that happens, network comes up, this service starts, then you can mount the file system that are dependent on NVMe over TCP, and your database is up and running.